Hey credit warriors, welcome to the show, and in this video I am going to do a comparison of two of my favorite mid-tier travel credit cards in the US credit card market. That would be the Amex Green card and the Chase Sapphire Preferred. And in this video we will be asking the question, which of these two cards is right for who, and is there a clear winner? But first of all, if you are new to the channel, my name is Ben Hedges, aka The Credit Shifu. I deliver content on credit cards, personal finance, and how to use credit card points to book aspirational travel in new videos almost every day. If you like the sound of that, do subscribe for more. And this video is brought to you by Aura, but more on that later. Okay, so let's go through the benefits of each card and then we'll compare them.
Round one. Fight!
Alright, so this is the Amex Green card, and first we'll look at the annual fee. You can see it does have a $150 annual fee, but that is offset. I know you're probably excited about the bonus. We'll look at that in a second, alright? Don't worry, hold tight. So the annual fee though, $150, but it is offset by a load of credits. So you've got this, you've got the $189 Clear credit. Now if you don't know what Clear is, it's a system where you can scan, I think it's either your fingerprint or your eye or both, to get through the airport quicker. It's kind of like an alternate version to TSA PreCheck. It's available at a load of airports in the US and some sporting venues where you can enter sporting venues quicker than everyone else. You don't have to line up, etc. It is pretty useful. It's $189 a year if you paid for it. So you can basically get that for free every year with the Amex Green card. Then we also have another travel credit, which is a Lounge Buddy credit. Now, Lounge Buddy is a website that American Express bought a few years back. It's basically a directory of lounges, tells you the facilities, okay, at the airport lounges, how to get into them, etc. And you can actually book some of the lounges, the ones that are bookable at a daily rate. You can book them through the Lounge Buddy website, or I'm sure they have an app as well. And so basically, yeah, they give you $100 Lounge Buddy credit. This would normally be enough probably for 2 lounge visits per year, okay? They're around $50 per visit, around that, okay? Some are more expensive, some may be less, but probably enough for at least 2 visits per year. So if we want to work out our effective annual fee, that's the annual fee minus all the credits, all right? So you got $289 worth of credits. Annual fee is $150. That gives us positive value of $139 per year. Basically, they're paying you, if you use all the credits right, they're paying you $139 to have this card. All right, next up, the Amex Green card does have no foreign transaction fees, although it's not as good to use in foreign countries because it is an Amex and acceptance is lower. We'll discuss that in more detail a little bit later. And now let's move on to the bonus. So this is the current bonus on the Amex Green card, and this is actually a new offer. You can earn 60,000 membership rewards points when you spend $3,000 on purchases in the first 6 months, and you also get 20% back on eligible travel and transit spend on up to $200 back in the first 6 months, okay? That's a statement credit on your card. So if you value the points at 1 cent per point, okay, you're using them for booking, say, flights through the Amex travel portal, 1 cent per point, then you add in that $200, the value of the bonus would be $800. If you value the points at, say, 2 cents per point, booking through transfer partners, that would be $1,200 plus $200. That's $1,400 in value, okay? With the bonus, your mileage may vary. Let's now look at the point earning on the card, because this is going to be the real crux that interests a lot of people. Now, this is a travel card, okay? So it earns 3 points per dollar on travel, regular travel, which includes flights, hotels, vacation rentals like Airbnb, etc. And then 3 points per dollar on transit, all right, which is trains, buses, ferries, subways, I guess Ubers, things like that. You know, they normally talk about that. Travel is more like vacation travel, like airplanes and hotels. Transit is sort of in-city, like subways, taxis, all that kind of stuff. Then in addition, it earns 3 points per dollar at dining at restaurants worldwide, okay? And then 1 point per dollar on everything else. So some pretty solid earning categories. It's basically all types of travel and dining, okay? And then 1 point on everything else. And then in addition, there are a load of travel insurances. There's also collision damage waiver for rental cars and a few other things that we won't go into. We've covered most of the main things available on the Amex Green card. Let's now talk about the preferred. But before we do talk about the preferred, if you want to get either of these two credit cards, or any credit card for that matter, you need to protect your credit score from thieves who will steal your personal information and set up fraudulent accounts in your name, trashing your credit score and your chances of getting approved for a credit card from any credit card issuer. You may not know this, but your personal information is easily accessible on data broker websites such as True People Search. Look, there are 52 different Ben Hedges on there, but not one of them is me, thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Aura. Aura is a complete identity theft, credit monitoring, VPN, and antivirus service all rolled into one. They constantly submit removal requests to data brokers to get your personal information off the open internet and even monitor the dark web for your info and passwords that may have been stolen in data breaches. They found 3 instances of my information out there on the dark web. Then their credit monitoring feature will also send you an alert if there is suspicious activity on your credit report, such as someone trying to open up a credit account in your name. Their VPN service protects your data from theft on the internet, particularly useful when using public Wi-Fi, and their antivirus service protects your computer. It's like 7 things that complement each other all rolled into one. And thus, it provides way better value than if you signed up for all of these services separately. So let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online. And if you sign up through my link below, you'll get a 2-week free trial of the service. You'll be shocked at how much of your personal information Aura finds exposed over those 2 weeks. So go to aura.com/Ben Hedges. It's also linked in the description below, or you can scan the QR code on screen now. All right, so let's look at the Chase Sapphire Preferred. So first of all, the annual fee on this card is $95, which is just a little over half what the annual fee is on the Amex Green. And you do actually have some credits on this card that do offset it. So you've got the $50 annual Ultimate Rewards hotel credit. And what that means is it's $50 off a hotel that you book through the Chase travel portal, through the Ultimate Rewards portal. Okay, so that would take the annual fee down to $45. But then there are actually some other temporary credits that are running at the moment. So the Instacart, you get a subscription to Instacart, but you also get a $15 credit every quarter. And that is running through July 2024. So basically you've got 4 of those left if you were to apply for the card now. So we'll call that $60. There is also a monthly $10 GoPuff credit, all right? GoPuff. It's such a ridiculous name, GoPuff. But anyway, that's running until December 31st, 2023. So if you applied for the card now, you'd have 6 months left of that. So we'll call that another $60 as well. So when we're working out the annual fee, it's $95 minus $50 plus 60 plus 60. So it actually gives us $75 of positive value for having the card if you were to use all these credits effectively, okay, if they were to actually save money. If you weren't going to use them anyway and you just sort of use them additionally to get some useless stuff that you didn't actually need, then it wouldn't really give you value. This card, like the Amex Green, also has no foreign transaction fees, and since it is a Visa, it's a bit more easy on the acceptance worldwide, okay, outside of the United States, particularly in places like Europe, and especially places like Dubai that seem to not accept Amex. Let's now look at the welcome bonus, okay, so the current welcome bonus is 60,000 points, and that's for spending $4,000 in the first 3 months, so the bonus is a little harder to get than the Amex Green, all right? The Amex Green, I think it was 6 months, and you only had to spend $3,000. This is $4,000 in 3 months, so half the time. However, if your income is reasonable, okay, if you have a reasonable middle-class income, you should probably be able to easily spend $1,333 a month on a credit card, because that's what it would be. So even though the spending is lower and the time is longer on the Amex Green, I don't think that's a significant selling point unless you're someone who really has a low income and is only just managing to be able to afford these cards anyway. In that case, you have different problems. But, you know, to the average middle-class person, the sort of target audience of these cards, I don't think the spending requirement is really anything, you know, to be a major selling point. As for the value of the bonus, it's not quite as much as on the Amex Green, so 60,000 points, that would be worth $1,250 on travel through the Chase travel portal, because points through the travel portal are worth 1.25 cents per point, so that's a bonus, that's a plus of this card. However, it's still $50 lower than the kind of minimum value you'd get for the Amex Green's bonus, okay, of the 60,000 plus the $200 statement credit. So yeah, $50 less. And then depending on how you use them, you know, the Amex Green basically comes out on top on the bonus. All right, now let's go through the point earning. And I've got it pulled up here on the site. So more ways to earn. Here you go. So you can earn 5 points per dollar on Chase Travel, and then 2 points per dollar on all other travel. And travel is really broad, by the way, on this card, okay? So it includes like travel and transit, all right? They don't separate them with Chase. It's just, you got planes, hotels, and then you got Ubers, you got taxis, you got subways. It all counts as travel. Then we have 3 points per dollar on dining, 3 points per dollar on online grocery, 3 points per dollar on streaming service, and then 1 point per dollar on everything else. So, you've got quite a good set of earning categories on the card. It sort of competes with the Amex Green, although... Well, we'll get to all that in our conclusion. So let's actually now conclude and talk about the strong and weak points of each card and if we have an overall winner. I think both cards are pretty strong, but I think the Amex Green has a slight edge over the Sapphire Preferred, especially in the amount of points that you can earn. So on the dining category, they earn the same, 3 points per dollar, but on travel, the Amex Green earns 1 point more than the Sapphire Preferred, okay? 3 points per dollar versus 2 points per dollar on basically all travel, unless you're someone who books through the Chase Travel Portal on the Sapphire Preferred, in which case you're going to get 5 points per dollar. However, that isn't always convenient. For example, hotels don't honor your hotel status if you book through a third party, so you wouldn't really want to do that. You wouldn't really want to book through the Chase Travel Portal if you had Marriott Gold status, for example. It's okay on flights, although you definitely want to check that the price is the same, whether booking through the portal or booking direct. Then the grocery category would be a big selling point on the Sapphire Preferred against the Amex Green, but it is online only, which means you have to jump through hoops to use it, okay? You could order grocery delivery. There are some stores where if you use their app, it counts as online, like Publix, for example, but that's not available in every state, so it is a bit of a hassle to use. Then what about redeeming points? Well, this is one area where I would say Chase does have possibly a bit more of an edge. Both cards have transfer partners, but if you want to book through the travel portal, Chase gives you 1.25 cents per point in value, whereas Amex, for flights, they give you about 1 cent per point, and for hotels, it's like 0.75 of a cent per point. So Chase is definitely better when using the travel portal. So I think beginners would probably find the Chase system easier to use. For those who use transfer partners, okay, this is for the more experienced people, I would say your mileage may vary. It really depends on which partners you make use of as to whether you're getting the good value or not. Now, American Express does have a caveat in which they charge a small surcharge, like a tax, transfer tax on transfers to US airlines, and that tax is 0.0006 cents per point, but it's only charged when you transfer to a US airline like Delta or JetBlue. They don't even have that many US airlines as transfer partners, and you can get around it by transferring to a foreign airline and then booking a US airline with the foreign airline's points. For example, transfer to British Airways and then book American Airlines flights with those points, and you actually typically get better value anyway using British Airways miles on American Airlines flights. On the bright side though, Amex does have more frequent transfer bonuses, okay, of 20%, 30%, 40% when you transfer to a certain airline or hotel. I've made use of some of these really well. British Airways, I've had up to a 40% bonus. Sometimes on Hilton, they do a big bonus where you can get up to 3 Hilton points for every 1 Amex point that you transfer over, so that makes Hilton transfers really worth it. Now let's look at lounge access. So the green card gives you a $100 Lounge Buddy credit, which should cover you for about 2 visits per year. Whereas the Chase Sapphire Preferred gives you nothing. Not a thing. Now, you would think that with the new Sapphire lounges opening up, maybe they give you like 2 Sapphire Lounge visits per year to entice you to upgrade to the Sapphire Reserve, which gives you the full lounge access, but they don't. You think they do it like the Capital One Venture, okay? The Venture gives you 2 lounge visits per year. So the Capital One Lounge and I think their partner lounges, okay, like Plaza Premium and stuff. It's to entice you to upgrade to the Venture X. They should do that on the Preferred. Maybe they will when they have more Chase Lounge locations. I think right now they only have 2 and only 1 US one, which is the the Sapphire Lounge at Boston. They got that little outdoor thing down in Texas, but it's not very good. But yeah, so maybe when they have more locations, they will bring in some kind of very limited lounge access on the Preferred, but right now, there's nothing. Now, both cards do have various insurances like baggage insurance, trip delay insurance, and collision damage waiver. But the crucial thing is that with the collision damage waiver, on the Sapphire Preferred, it is primary, whereas on the green, it is secondary. And that is crucial because secondary collision damage waiver, if you don't know what collision damage waiver is, it's when you can refuse the insurance at the car rental counter and the credit card gives you car insurance for your rental car. With secondary insurance, you actually have to claim on your regular car insurance first, and whatever that doesn't cover, the secondary insurance will cover. But with primary insurance, you do not even have to tell your regular car insurance company that there was an accident, and that's what you want, okay? Because you don't want them raising your premium or doing any funny stuff like that, okay? So primary insurance is definitely a big selling point of the Chase Sapphire Preferred. All right, so let's get to the actual conclusion now. The conclusion of the conclusion. So the main thing I would say about these two cards is that the green card, it is a solid travel card, all right? It knows what it is. It earns 3 points per dollar on all travel, and the credits they give you revolve around travel too. Whereas the Chase Sapphire Preferred seems like it's trying to compete with both the Amex Green and the Amex Gold and perhaps the City Premier as well. It earns some points on travel, okay, 2 points per dollar, but you could get 2 points per dollar with the City Double Cash anyway. And then it earns points on some other stuff like online grocery, which isn't really that good. And then the credits they give you are not travel related credits, okay? You've got the Instacart and you've got GoPuff, right? Which are kind of like, I don't know, some people might not even use them. They might forget they have them. And they're not permanent credits anyway. GoPuff goes away at the end of this year, and the other one, Instacart, goes away mid-2024. I guess they'll add new ones, but, you know, it's not guaranteed. There's only really two aspects of the Chase Sapphire Preferred that make it stand out as a travel card for me. One of them is the collision damage waiver, okay? Being primary, that is really important to me. And the second one is that it is a Visa, so it has better acceptance overseas. But in general, I would say that the Amex Green is slightly more useful as a travel credit card. I'd say you will probably earn more points, and the credits are more useful for the person who wants the card for travel. So my advice would be, for everyone except beginners, okay, so for beginners, you probably want to go with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, the ease of redeeming the points through the travel portal at a high value. That's just going to be better for you, okay, if you lack experience. I'll put a link to the Sapphire Preferred below if you want to learn more about it. But for everyone except beginners, I would say the Amex Green offers better value as a travel credit card. You're going to earn more points with it, and you could combine it with the Amex Gold, so that way you get 3x on travel and 4x on dining and supermarkets with the Gold as well, so it's awesome point earning. You could also combine it with the Platinum for some really great travel benefits. Alternatively, if you wanted to go half Amex, half Chase, you could have the Green. You could combine that with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which gets you all the lounge access and stuff. But typically, I think it's better to pick one system and stay with it. Or you could just get both, right? You could do that as well. And that's where I'm going to conclude the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your comments below. If you want a 2-week free trial of Aura, do click the link in the description. You can also scan the QR code on screen now. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.